Hey there, all you chuds and chudettes. Welcome to Straight Gamer Zone. It is March 26, 2026, Thursday, and I'm your host, Fox with RealMarcFoxx. Welcome back for those of you who have been here before, and if you're new here, welcome. You're in the right place. Let's get started.
You're watching Straight Gamer Zone.
If you're a man and you like mullets, hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And if you're a woman and have ever been at the beach and found that your top begins to fall off, well, hit the like button and let us know that story, because we are very interested in hearing it. First bit of news I want to hit on is the Capcom CEO stating that he believes PC will be the world's leading gaming platform. Well, we know by some metrics PC has already surpassed consoles. No, not one console, just all of the consoles in total sales, but a lot of that is actually the gacha market or MMOs, online games, many of them featured primarily in Asia. Still doesn't change the reality that PC is generating more total world gaming revenue than consoles are. Doesn't make it better in, every sense of the word. It's just a statistical bit of data. He stated that, "I believe that the PC will further establish itself as the world's leading gaming platform." And hey, why not? My friend just recently bought a bunch of PC parts. I'm going to take a day off from work to go over there and help him build this thing and welcome him into the PC gaming master race. So if you are still limiting yourselves to the consoles, that's fine if that's what you want to do. You're welcome here. This is not a PC only channel, but might I suggest you consider joining the superior PC gaming master race? Just a suggestion. We are not going to watch this video because I absolutely cannot stand this stupid way that mainstream news media anchors speak. It sounds dumb and I hate the news with a passion. But this is some breaking news from Dapper Detective. A Roblox programmer has been arrested in New Orleans by Homeland Security investigations for possessing child something and importing a child something doll. So yeah, that's concerning considering all the accusations going out about Roblox. Do you have kids like I do, and are you letting your kids play Roblox? If so, you better monitor them. See what they're doing on there. This one from a Japanese account mentioning that this guy is an absolute pro. Let's check out what he's doing in Super Mario World here, guys. This is insane. I mean, he has to throw the key as a place to land at times. There's virtually nowhere to take a break other than maybe the top of that pipe right there for maybe a brief moment. I mean, I don't think I could be this good if I practiced for the rest of my life. Of course, this guy's probably younger than me. I'm a grandfather. If you're a grandfather and still gaming, hit the like button, guys. All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's move on to the next one. Here's a game that's probably not on your radar, one to possibly consider. From Niche Gamers, Guns and Nuns. A boomer shooter where you're a psycho anime girl nun slaying demons. Let's check it out. Does she laugh maniacally the whole time you're playing that game? Because I would definitely turn the laugh off. Not my kind of game, but if it looks like your thing, hey, go check it out. And coming at us from Digital Soylentry, I'm actually kidding, that's my term for them, they're Digital Foundry. They posted after some controversy surrounding their opinions on DLSS 5, saying that the big DLSS 5 machine learning debate and why we should have waited before posting our first round of coverage. Today's video. They basically talk about how they should have waited to see what the internet thought first before sharing their opinions, because it became very obvious that the vast majority of the internet disagreed strongly with their opinions. And as content creators, we all know that the thing we're supposed to do is wait and see what everyone else thinks and then parrot that back to them. You can be glad to know that I'm not going to do that. I oftentimes give opinions that aren't super popular. In fact, you could look on my X account and find me talking about how I hate the tank controls in the original Resident Evil on PlayStation. People are ratioing the heck out of me because there are a lot of tank control lovers out there. I think they're just bad. I'm gonna share that opinion. It's not rage bait. It's not grifting bait because I'm not monetized on X. I don't make any money on X. I pay for a subscription, so I lose money on X. I'm just giving my opinion, and people want to think it's rage baiting or something, or they want to tell me, oh, you're not good at the controls. I'm fine with them, I just don't like them. So obviously what I should have done is what Digital Foundry's talking about. Before posting on tank controls, I should have seen what the internet thought and just repeated that back to them so I can just, confirm what the internet already believes, rather than give my own genuine opinion. And we have Colonel Falcon on X telling us that he thinks he may have downloaded the wrong Legend of Zelda. Well, I will say that's probably not the Legend of Zelda you were expecting, but I don't know if I would call it the wrong one. Coming at us from Crabrutus is a throwback to the past, back when IGN used to have a feature known as Babe of the Day, where they'd feature the woman sometimes in swimsuit outfits or in lingerie. Very different from the IGN we know of today. They've cucked out and they simp for the industry. Sad. From No Room for Wokeness, the 7 Deadly Sins, a new gacha game that just released, has been censored. In the original game, which I did play during the beta test or play test, you could actually see some of the female characters' panties underneath their skirts or dresses, but in the new version, the release version, they've decided to give them shorts. Yeah, disappointing. Obviously not the biggest deal in the world. The bigger deal here isn't that is the outfit. The bigger deal is, why did you change it? Why was it changed is the big deal question, and I think we all can take a wild guess why. Rumors coming at us from Pirate Nation is that Sony is reportedly working on its own dedicated PC launcher for PlayStation games. That's right, guys. In addition to launchers like Steam, Epic, Ubisoft, Rockstar, CD Projekt Reds, and things like Xbox Game Pass, you can now install another one if you want to play PlayStation games. All right, I'm going to share an opinion that some of you won't like. I think this is a much better decision than not putting the games on PC at all. I would rather see these PlayStation titles be put on a separate proprietary launcher than for them to not be available to PC gamers at all. I am not interested in the vast majority of these PlayStation titles. I don't care about Wolverine. The Soros game looks like it may be okay, but I'm not like super dead set on getting it. But for those PC gamers out there who do really care about these first-party PlayStation titles, I think it's awesome that they at least make them available. Nobody wants a separate launcher. This is going to be a pain in the butt, but it's better than not having the games at all, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? And in some news from Epic, Epic has epic layoffs. They have laid off over 1,000 Epic employees, and they're sorry. But don't worry. They're saying that basically they're not just laying them off, they're flooding the job market with highly trained individuals so other companies can scoop them up. So really, they're doing them a favor by terminating them, by letting them go. They're letting them go on to greener pastures elsewhere. Just more layoffs in the industry. We seem to be hearing about these all the time. In some news that the Marabots Marathon fanboys aren't going to like, it looks like PS5 players are overwhelmingly rejecting Marathon, Bungie's new hot hit first-person extraction online-only games-as-a-service shooter. That's right. According to this, and this is a much higher number than what I've seen going around on X, they predict that only a miserable 19% of PS5 gamers have actually purchased the game. I've heard it was much less than that, but let's assume that number is accurate and it's around 19%. That's still pretty low considering it's a first-party Sony title. It's supposed to be a huge game from a big name in the industry, or at least what used to be a big name in the industry, Bungie. And in a total switcheroo change-up, we're now seeing that memory, RAM for computers, is so expensive that when you buy this package of RAM, you get a free Intel Core Ultra processor with it. That's right, the RAM costs so much money, they're throwing in the processor for free. Used to be that the processor was at least 2, 3, 4 times as much as the memory, depending on how good of a processor you bought. But no, I think things have completely flipped on their head in this case. You're paying a lot more for the RAM now than you are for most CPUs that are out there that people buy. That's sad. And it shouldn't really be a surprise at this point, but coming at us from videocards.com, NVIDIA just released their latest driver for their GPUs on desktop, and they had to release another hotfix for a second time in the same month. They didn't used to do this. I have a theory. My theory is NVIDIA is using vibe coding. They're using AI to write a lot of their driver code, and the AI is screwing stuff up, forcing them to have to go through it manually and issue hotfixes. So if you recently updated your drivers, the hotfix does not come through the NVIDIA app. You have to go to their website, download the hotfix manually, and then install. All right, guys, and it's time for everybody's favorite part of the video, cosplay of the day. This one coming at us from Sawa5834. It looks like Sailor Moon. I can't see with these glasses on. It's at least Sailor Moon style. Yep, she actually says it's a Sailor Moon right there. Excellent cosplay. I like it. I would give that a like if that were my thing, but I usually just bookmark these. Here's one from the Nikkei. Any Nikkei players out there? Goddess of Victory. You got your Nikkei goddess right there. She made a victory with that cosplay. I'll tell you that much, guys. And then if you're interested in figurines, there's this one, which looks like you can dress or undress at will. And yeah, well, that's a backside shot right there. We've got another Nikkei cosplay right here. Who's up for girls with guns? What about bunny girls with guns with fishnet stockings? You've got it all right here. Here's one that I can't quite place. Maybe some of you know what this is cosplay of, but I thought it looked really good. So hey, let's throw it in there. And an excellent one of Genshin Impact. Nice and colorful. I do recognize it. Can't think of who the character is, but many of you, I'm sure, will know. And sometimes cosplay doesn't have to be of a specific character. It can just be whatever they want to cosplay as. Maybe a fox maid, and well, why not? You know, maybe this is from an anime. Some of you may recognize it. If so, let me know in the comments section below. But this one definitely looks really good. I like the outfit. I think that would be a great outfit for a woman to wear to go out to eat at the pub. And then we got this infamous character whom I cannot think of the name of at the moment. I usually know who this is. Someone please remind me in the comment section below if you do, but excellent cosplay, and she is wearing the ideal length skirt for a woman, in my opinion. And we're going to finish it off with some of everyone's favorite character to cosplay, apparently, 2B, but this one is in the wedding white design. I gotta move my glasses to see what color this is. Makes everything look orange. What do you guys think? Is this one from Yuli pretty good? I would say yes, it's excellent. She's not covering her eyes, but actually that's the one thing about 2B's design I'm not a big fan of. I'd rather she not have her eyes covered, but whatever, that's kind of central to her character at this point. We're going to move on from the cosplay to the next order of business, another one from Cabrutus. This shouldn't be normal. Developers speak out against bigotry on Steam, the world's biggest PC gaming storefront. Multiple game creators describe ineffective moderation on the platform, resulting in unchecked hatred in forums and targeted campaigns of negative anti-woke reviews. That's right. If you don't like woke garbage in your games, you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to express it in reviews. They want Valve to crack down on it and make sure that you can't communicate your genuine opinions and feelings on the issue. Obviously, that's not something Valve should do. I don't think they're going to do it, not as long as Gaben is at the helm. But I'll tell you this much, once Gabe Newell passes away, I do worry about what direction Steam, ultimately Valve and Steam, will move in, but that remains to be seen. Hopefully he'll live for a real long time. Ideally, we could at least put his brain in an Android, and so he could continue to live forever and just continue to run Steam indefinitely into the future. That way we don't have to worry about the problem. But again, you've got the lefties and the wokies always wanting to censor speech, because when they have to fight on an even ground of free speech, they pretty much always lose. And there's a new contender on the PUBG Battlegrounds. Who is it? Well, that's obvious. I mean, they tried to make it a little dark, but we all know who that is. That is Eve from Stellar Blade. I don't know if she's out quite yet. This was from a few days ago, but there you go. If you're a PUBG player, Maybe you can get yourself the Eve outfit or the Eve character. I don't even know how that works. How does that work, guys? All right, coming out of some video cards. Originally, if you had an Intel Arc GPU and you launched Crimson Desert, you would have been surprised to find that the game puts up a window that says, this is not supported, and it just didn't run. So what did the developer say? They said, we're not supporting Intel Arc GPUs, ask for a refund. That sucks. Fortunately, they've done an about face, a complete 180, and Crimson Desert now boots on Intel Arc with optimizations pending. So if you have an Intel Arc GPU at this point, I would still wait before getting Crimson Desert because the experience is probably going to be very poor with no optimizations and no like official full support for it. I would wait until the patch with optimizations for that GPU. So for the 14 of you out there that actually bought an Intel Arc GPU, hold off on Crimson Desert for now. And I just thought this was a silly, absurd image that reminded me of fighting in video games. I'm not exactly sure what this is about. Maybe it's AI generated, who knows. Bethesda director Todd Howard is tired of being asked about The Elder Scrolls 6 and would rather we all pretend he just didn't announce it. Well, you know, it would be easy to pretend you didn't announce it, what it was, 8, 11 years ago, however long it was now. You know, Todd, if you didn't announce it, people, why? Why do we do this? Developers, stop announcing games when they're years and years and years away. Don't announce a game only 6 years later to have nothing to show us. How many years has it been since the original announce? And they've shown us nothing. Nothing. We got a CGI video zooming in on a mountain and a castle, and that's it. This was not ready for announcement, period. It wasn't. Coming at us from Noir, he talks about the fact that you can look at games based on peak player counts on Steam. Games designed primarily for straight males or games designed for a more woke audience. And take a look at the numbers. What do we got here? Well, we have Stellar Blade, Crimson Desert, Marvel Rivals, Space Marine, Dispatch. He put Dispatch in the this category. I don't know. I haven't played Dispatch. The First Descendant, Expedition 33, Dying Light. I don't know much about that game either. But then you've got Horizon. I believe that's Forbidden West. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Marathon. And they're not getting anywhere near that peak. They've been like a quarter to maybe close to half of that peak most of the time. Star Wars Outlaws, that was the all-time peak 12 months ago, but not all-time peak, right? Surely it was higher than that. Life is Strange, surprised it was even that high. Concord 697, the biggest flop of all time. Dragon Age Veilguard, not the worst numbers, but definitely not the best considering how popular some of the previous games were. And then you got this Last of Us Part whatever, who cares, 30,690. Really does show. You make games for gamers, they play them. You make games for the wokies and the modern audience, you're not going to do so well. I care nothing about Pokemon, but if you're a Pokemon fan, you'll be glad to know that Pokemon Pokopia, which I'll never play, sales have surpassed 2.2 million copies worldwide. People seem to think that this game is awesome. I've heard a lot of positive stuff about it, so if you're a Pokemon fan and haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet, why not? Spend $500+ with tax to buy yourself a Switch 2 and then pay whatever this thing costs, what, 70, 80 bucks? I don't know. And then you can enjoy Pokemon Pokopia like you were a kid again. Or maybe you are a kid. And this is one mainly for me, guys. I remember way back in the day, I played this game. It was more of like a visual novel point-and-click adventure with puzzles. It really didn't have much gameplay, but I played the heck out of it. I really liked it because it was, you know, it was that era when full motion video was new. I put this CD in my old Packard Bell computer and I played The Seventh Guest. Well, guess what, guys? They're doing a remake of it. PC Classic The Seventh Guest scaring up a remake later this year. Will it actually come out? I hope so. I assume so. But yeah, FMVs and whatnot. Exactly how good will it be? I don't know. Am I going to pick it up? Probably not. I mean, really, these aren't my kind of games anymore. I just played it basically back then for the novelty of the whole thing. So what do you guys think? You going to pick up The Seventh Guest remake? And did you play The Seventh Guest on PC back in the day? If so, let me know. Fans of the Legacy of Kain series will be glad to know that Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered is coming, with Ascendance on the horizon. I like the original Legacy of Kain on the PlayStation. I wish they'd make a good PC port of it. The PlayStation version had a lot of issues. However, not a big fan of the follow-up games. I'm just all about the original. I thought that was really good. It was kind of somewhat Legend of Zelda-esque in its approach. It did feel a bit janky at times. It wasn't a perfect game, but it was fun for what it was, and it had some excellent voice acting. But it looks like 2 of the Legacy of Kain games are getting remakes or remasters, whatever. So yeah, you guys planning on jumping on those? I'm probably not going to, but if you're interested, there you go. And here's one that I wouldn't normally bother playing. I don't care about the Switch 2 version, but I picked up the demo of Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake, and I was actually kind of impressed. I guess it helps that it has 2 attractive females in it. I get that they claim they're 17, but they used to claim they were, what, 15 or 14? Guys, these are pixels on a screen. They could tell you that these 2 girls are 20 or 25 and no one would question it. Let's not get all worked up over this trying to see PDF files everywhere. There are PDF file people out there. They're terrible. They're awful. I don't even think they should make, anime of it. I don't think they should make video games of it. But this ain't it, guys, okay? Just because someone lore-wise is technically underage doesn't make it that level of whatever you want to say it is. Because you consider Mael from an Expedition 33, canonically she's 16, but they could have easily told you that Mael is 20 and everyone would have believed it. They could have said 25 and everyone would have believed it. They probably could have said 30 and no one would have questioned it. She's also being voice acted by a 30-something-year-old woman. So who cares, guys? Don't get all worked up over that nonsense. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I do want to pick it up. I'm just waiting for a sale, and I might play it live on my streams, which are every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see you there. And Jeff Kaplan says he quit Overwatch after Blizzard threatened to blame 1,000 layoffs on him. Interesting. I guess they forced him out, saying that if he didn't leave, they would blame him for 1,000 layoffs. Well, you know who else did 1,000 layoffs or more? Epic, obviously. So we're getting some really epic layoffs in this industry, guys. I think this is the industry basically healing itself. It got super bloated, and then during the COVID era, it got ultra mega bloated, and we just have too many people working on too many games that just aren't going to succeed. They're spending too much money. They're blowing up the budgets. The budgets are just too big, and it's not sustainable. We need to see an industry that is making better games with better gameplay and not all this focus on super incredibly photorealistic visuals, these amazing cutscenes that some gamers just skip. Like me, I usually skip them in most games. Let's focus on a tighter, less expensive, more tight-knit, unique experience with a game that has excellent gameplay. Good visuals is fine, but spending 200, 500 million on every big game, you can't keep doing it, guys. You can't keep doing it. And with that, we're at the end of today's episode of Straight Gamer Zone. If you like this one, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit dislike. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, notification bell icon. You know how all that stuff works, guys. Follow me on X at RealMarcFoxx, Mark with a C, Fox with 2 X's. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.